We return now to the mystery of a doctor who's been married 6 times and at least 2 of his wives met a tragic end instead of a happily ever after. 8 months after we first went looking for answers, you'll never guess why he's finally under arrest tonight. Here again is ABC's Jim Avila.
3 people go to sleep in this house on a winter night in Alabama. Only 2 wake up. The husband, Dr. Mike, says maybe his wife fell down the stairs a few days earlier. But no one, not him, nor her mother, who was there, saw or for that matter heard Shirley Seitz die. So what happened?
No better words, slammed my sister's head against a wooden floor or against something hard, fractured the occipital bone in the back of her head, dislocated her brain from the front of her head, and she died from the results of it.
So is that possible? The toxicology report found no poison or fatal doses of drugs. And even as it makes clear the cause of death, the autopsy fails to answer the really big question, the manner of death, how Shirley got that fatal injury. The medical examiner writes simply undetermined. Accident? Homicide? Can't tell. But there was an investigation by Loxley Police and the Alabama Bureau of Investigation. It went on for a year and resulted in a 184-page report to the prosecutor.
I believe, and I'll go to my grave believing, that sometime between midnight and 7 o'clock, he went in that bedroom and took her life.
We tried to make an appointment to see Dr. Wohlschlaeger, to ask him about his terrible luck, about how and why 2 of his wives had died early, sudden deaths, and 2 others suspect he tried to poison them. But the doctor wouldn't see us, turned down our request for an interview. So we went to see him. We found him living in Pensacola, Florida, and not alone.
Dr. Mike, we just hear Dr. Mike ask
the woman with him and threatening to sue as I backpedal used to be known as Luann Elkins. She'd known Dr. Mike back when Shirley was still alive. The question is, just how well?
I do believe that he was having an affair on Mother. The woman that he is now married to, I believe, is the woman that he was seeing prior to Mother's death.
Married to? That's right. Luann now goes by the name Maggie. Maggie Wohlschlaeger. She is wife number 6.
Are you currently in a relationship with anybody else now? Or?
I go out with people just to be with them.
Her name had come up in Dr. Mike's interview 3 months after Shirley's death when police asked about his love life.
I've been to the movies with Luann, and I've actually babysat Luann's 2 sons. Not really dating. I mean, okay. I see. Well, none of them are dates per se. No.
Dr. Mike denied to police that he cheated on Shirley. But Sharon says she believes it could be another motive for wanting Shirley out of the way.
There's too many red flags with what I have discovered in reference to her.
When we found Dr. Mike last year in a fast food parking lot, wife number 6 was not happy to see us. But we did get to ask that critical question.
We want to know whether or not you murdered Shirley. That's all we want to do.
We're going to sue you.
Did you murder Shirley?
No, I did not.
When Shirley married this man, she had $500,000 in liquid assets plus a home and 15 acres of land.
And what happened to your sister when the money ran out?
What happened to her? She died.
Wohlschlaeger told us back then he had no money, was living on food stamps, and couldn't afford a lawyer. But he needs one now. Just 3 days ago, police arrested Dr. Wohlschlaeger for the murder of his wife Shirley. 4 years after her death, 8 months after ABC News first broadcast the story, Dr. Wohlschlaeger is finally behind bars. The family's private investigator told us today that without the original 2020 report, he doubts that might ever have happened. If convicted, Wohlschlaeger faces either a death sentence or life in prison. His court-appointed attorney told ABC News today Mr. Wohlschlaeger will be acquitted. There are reasons it took the state of Alabama this long to indict my client, and it's obvious that those reasons are not favorable to the prosecution. The family says they're ecstatic, but are staying mute for now to allow law enforcement to do its job. But anytime he needs to remember, little brother Ricky drives up to that quiet spot in High Rock and listens for the sound he's been missing, his big sister's voice.
In grace.
got a CD of her. Sometimes I just sit there and listen to her sing Amazing Grace. It's still ours.